Friday night Winston Cup 88 Series, FSB Racing.com, race number 3. And this is Pikes Peak, a really cool track here, very difficult. And there's going to be some serious action here. And with the call tonight will be my buddy, the voice of FSB Racing, Greg Bernardo. What's up, man?
What's up, Milty? What's up, everyone? Yep, Pikes Peak International Raceway, Milty. It's kind of a defunct track now, but it has its uniqueness about it. It's a little over a mile long, and the turns are very flat. As we're looking at some happy hour runs right now, Ken Hansen.
This is probably the shortest track they'll run this year, no?
Yeah, one of it's, they do run Hillside and other, I think Hillside and Boston are around the same.
Around the same, about a mile.
Yeah, but no tracks under a mile distance in this series, so.
Well, interesting drivers meeting. It's been a little bit of clarification there. They will have to pit on the pit road entrance there in turn 3 on the access road, which I think is a good move here. It was kicked back and forth by NASCAR, and after the drivers meeting, the league decided that we'll go back to what we were working with and not take any chances here, which this should help if we get the green flag stops, which we will eventually. But this could also be some cautions here, man. This thing is very difficult. It's not like Daytona where they're just running wide open. They really got to get out of it here, hard on the brakes, some trail braking, different lines, and you can see the cars are very loose out. If you get on it too hard.
Yeah, Milty. It's a demanding track. As I said right before we went on, I feel almost like New Hampshire's just a bit over a mile long. It's very flat in the corners. You got to kind of float the car in almost from like the mid straightaway. You can't be hard into these turns or you'll just push right up the track. This one has little banking, just a tick of banking really. And if you get out of shape and out of that low line where the banking can help you, you can be in trouble here. So we'll see, on these starts and restarts, can the guys, do a little give and take, because on cold tires, it can be a little handful for each guy, and side-by-side racing early on may not work here. And also, Milty, access road is in play here, as we heard in the drivers' meeting. Green flag stops will play a huge role here if there are some, because that access road, who can negotiate that access road at speed, who's gonna take it a little more cautiously. These are all gonna play out if we see green flag stops.
Yeah, a little side story of note here.
Just like I told these boys in the meeting, we don't need anything over the top today. We got a good race car, we got a good driver, we got a good pit crew. All we got is everybody carrying their weight. We'll be just fine at the end of this thing.
Decision third.
And fourth.
Ryan Johnson, father and son, second and fourth. Bill Yarbrough rounds out the top 5 at qualifying.
Yeah, Bill Yarbrough actually outside pole, Milty. Ken Hansen on the pole. Ken Hansen back, Milty. After.
Oh, heck, I'm looking at the wrong thing.
After a 1 week hiatus for Ken Hansen, Milty, he's back, and he comes back with a statement with a pole, Milty, and that's pretty good for Ken. Ken's always usually the guy that you always talk about, Milty. He's the starts in 15th, 16th, works his way up mid-pack, and then last 40, 50 laps there we see him. Now he's changing that philosophy up here at Pikes Peak.
Drivers, start!
Well, points have been kind of jumbled the first 2 races. Now we're going to see who does well here. We'll start to see some gappage in the points.
Yeah, and there we see Ken lead them off in that Coors car. Bill Yarbrough outside pole, as you said. Slim Jim right there, Milty. Slim Jim coming on strong, and when he gets comfortable, Milty, he's capable of reeling off some quality finishes, if not wins. So Slim Jim feeling a little good, I think here. He might be a favorite. I saw him. He was fast in practice. He really held the car down low and really powered off the corners, and that's what it takes here. And you can't abuse these tires, Milty, or you'll have to pit before your fuel tells you to pit, and that could really hurt you in the long run. 140 punishing laps here at Pikes Peak. And we're underway. Green flag. Isaac right there in that 72 car. Couldn't get his paint, so we'll have to work on that for the next race. But there's Ken and Bill Yarbrough second, and Slim Jim third. 1, 2, 3. As we get onto the backstretch here at Pikes Peak. Again, just a little over a mile, Milty. So we're going to be clicking off some green flag laps here if we can keep those cars off of each other.
Nice spacing, 21 cars on a Friday night, live broadcast.
And there we see Mike Sanders up in that higher, less. You can kind of see that dark area, Milty, and that lighter area. And boy, you do not. Ooh, and there's Ryan there just glancing off the wall right behind Mike Sanders. And Jeff Hale there side by side. Yeah, you don't want to do that either. But you really don't want to be in that gray up there, Milty. It can get really slick.
Isaac's got sponsorship in this Sinclair car, and but little issues with the car file manager back and forth I've been having this little few problems with that, but it's just because I'm not putting it in the right place.
Yeah, I think come next race we'll have Isaac's good to go. There we see the 108 dog right behind the 007 car, Milty, our last week's winner.
And he's strong again right here, and he's really good at these kind of tracks.
And it looked like T-Roy there was a little blinky connection maybe issue there for the 17 car. We'll keep an eye on that. And there we see the 6 car, Mark DeSenza, right behind that 17 car. And there's Pops right ahead of them. As we keep going back, there's Ryan and Pinky. And
he's looking good on his quality and pitting right now, 97 and 100. It'll be fine. My little glitch there.
And then we see the 78 car, F. Jerry. 5 car, Mark Dillon Jr.
That we'll get to later on, but there is this sponsorship issue where the league is blocking his sponsorship, and
we'll have to admit, man, that might be a little harsh to say that, Milty, but yeah, we have to clarify, Jerry.
Well, they have to be cleared by the boss.
Yeah, you're correct, of course. Jim Ray is the CEO, and the buck stops there and nowhere else for sure. And we'll have to get some clarification, but apparently F. Jerry's request for paint job was denied, as we're behind, we're beyond that nebulous 2-week cutoff, Milty, and it looked like the boss man might be enforcing some of the finer point rules of FSB racing, but this is a league built on rules and regulations and sportsmanship, Milty, and you say that all time and time again. The rules is the rules. And F. Jerry, with his ambassadorship in FSB racing, showing that hey, you're just like everyone else, F. Jerry. Sorry.
I did see him crying in the
yeah, that's unconfirmed.
FSB locker room.
That's
there's
pretty
no crying
harsh,
in sim racing.
Yeah, there's no crying in baseball and sim racing, is what I've heard. Yeah, and there we see some action, Milty.
The 3 leaders are gone right now.
Yeah,
Billy Yarbrough's on rails.
Right, but behind him there's some quality racing with T-Roy, Dog, Pops, Mark DeSenza Mr. Bond there is really some hard charging racing early on, Milty. Just lap 9 of 140. Bill Yarbrough is our leader, as you see. Slim Jim second, right behind him, just a couple ticks off.
These guys are studs here. Jeff Hale taking a look down low, and Dan Jones and Michael Sanders got recycled out there. Obviously, we're seeing
We're seeing some
that outside line
Milty. It's slick.
It's very dangerous, man. It's slick.
Yeah, it is, Milty, and the car can really come around. We see maybe
Mike is glitching a little bit, which he's had issues the last 2 races.
You're right, Milty, and he's trying to stay high, clear, so there's no of that. Sometimes that glitch will collect the car, and I think
oh boy.
Yeah, it's real dicey here, Milty. We'll stay with this.
That's
make
a shame.
sure these guys
just really gonna have to get that fixed there. Get that internet provider out there. That's what the heck's going on here. Dog had to get out of it.
Yeah, there was
nice save by.
Yeah, it looked like
the truck champion.
Yeah, it looked like T-Roy might have got a little loose and got on the brakes there to catch the car and kind of stacked everyone up there, especially with Mike Sanders there on the outside still hounding them. And Mike's doing the right thing. He's up high. He's letting guys get around him. He's not really fighting for position, but T-Roy, I think, just got a little loose there trying to make the pass. Not easy to pass here, Milty, even with cooperation.
Yeah, Mike is just a tad off with his quality back and forth. The numbers in the game look good, but
yeah,
I've been there, done that too with my sim racing where I looked good and I was having computer issues. There's so many things that could go wrong.
Yeah, and it's
amazing how this works.
And it can be frustrating because when you're behind the wheel, sometimes you don't see it. Just everyone else does. And people are telling you, hey man, you got a problem, and you're like, I have no problems. I'm good. All my stuff's good, But it is what it is, Milty. If we know what the procedures are if you're having a connection issue. Try to stay high, give the guys ground, get to the back, and see if it mellows out with maybe a few less cars, that you have to deal with. And a lot of times that works, and then you're able to come back and race again once the connection, gets cleaner and established. So, there's it's not the end of the world either.
Yeah, I spent about a year trying to figure out with all the mines here at FSB. They just relentlessly, we tried everything. Turned out to be a sound card issue. I didn't have one. So I had my sounds up too high. I turned my sounds down and I quit blinking.
Right, and it was just using up enough resources that every now and again when it hit a lot of cars and a lot of stuff in the background, it couldn't handle all those sounds with cars around you. And, there's sounds in the crowd when you run down the front and back stretch sometimes in certain tracks. And yeah, if you're not set up proper, that can drain away your assets, and that's why you blink.
Ryan Johnson, with that little bit of damage, he's falling way back. They're going to have to, it looks like his car's real tight, but he is staying with that back.
And we know, Milty, when you hit that right side, you're going to be pushy the rest of that run until you get it fixed, and you got to get that fixed. So he's got to probably want to see a caution here so he can not get punished with the repairs. But this has a green flag since the start, Milty. We're 18 laps into this, and I'm impressed. I will say, I expected a quick caution here in this race just because it's not easy. But we see as we move slowly back to the front here, Isaac, Slim Jim, and Bill Yarbrough, Milty, 3, 2, and 1 respectively. And you can see that Slim appears very comfortable to be where he is. And it looks like Isaac is as well, looking maybe into this first green flag stop. Now, do we know what kind of fuel mileage these guys are getting, Milty?
Oh boy, Slim got real close there. This is a no-brainer. These 3 guys are the 3 best short track drivers, in my opinion, out there right now. So
well, don't forget that 99 car. He'll be coming. He'll be
Well,
showing up sooner or later.
arguably.
By the
But
way,
yeah,
popped in 11th.
pit road uh, fuel window looks right around 42.
Okay, so if we can do 40, then that should be plenty, Milty. You figure it's a 3-stop race no matter how you slice it.
There's just no way this thing's going to go green all the way, and that's the broadcaster kiss of death. But this pit road stuff, and as these tires wear out, but right now they're just really racing the. Oh, we got a car around Mark Dillon Jr. hard into the inside wall. No safer barrier there. I hope he's okay. Good thing it's not real. But will the caution come out here? And it has. The car.
Yeah.
No, it has not. Are you kidding me? No harm, no foul. And he just gets going.
Yeah,
and
he just went 1 lap down. Let's see.
That Monte Carlo's beat up pretty good.
Yeah, looking at the left side, I don't see a lot of damage. There might be some right side damage there, Milty. But the car doesn't look terrible from my vantage point.
Or is that an Oldsmobile? That's an Olds right there.
Well,
early 80s.
We keep it going, Milty, and yeah, that's
bad luck for him.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. You would think that would bring out a caution. As we see the 29 car, Jeff Hale, 007, Dan Jones, they're 9th and 10th respectively, Milty, 9 seconds off the lead. But you know, that here I don't think there's any issues early on in this race if you're these guys running around the bottom of the top 10 here.
Almost contact there with Michael Sanders, and Michael's connections looking better, and Steve Weber, your defending champ, and also Dean Gotro. He's been hit and miss on these races, but he's had a couple early exits. Right now he looks really solid in the 06 Oak.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on Dean. Yeah, he's in 16th place there, Milty, about a half a lap down from the leaders. So, you know, 24, 25 laps.
Now they got a battle here for like trying to get in the top 15 here.
Well, when you have a
He's
21...
sponsored by Louisiana State University. A very nice paint job there. LSU. Tigers.
Yeah, the LSU Tigers. Yeah, he's a Bayou boy. And we see Slim and Bill Yarbrough now gonna swap the lead. It looks like Slim gets to the inside. Bill looks like has given the ground.
Oh boy.
And now Slim is into the lead, Milty, at lap 26. So about a little more than half a fuel run here. And
they're
Slim
about to come up on lap cars now, and Saska and Pinky are racing for 20th place here.
Milty, it's as we said, you know, the slightly over a 1 mile oval here. And, you know, these guys are putting down some laps. Slim Jim has that car hooked up right now, Milty. And Bill Yarbrough, I think, is now just going to follow Slim to the green flag stop if that's what it takes. I think now with this lap traffic, you got to be very careful if you're the leaders. You don't want to slide up into a guy and make the contact because you can both get collected very easily. We see Slim getting around Pinky, and now Bill Yarbrough and Isaac doing the same. You know, and now who gets around lap traffic the best, Milty? As we see, Slim has to slow up on the higher line there with Ken right in front of him. And that helps Bill Yarbrough establish that inside line. And this is going to be tight.
Well, Ken Hansen was talking about tire saving, and he's doing what he said he was going to do. And,
and you see the 25
he's starting
and 50,
to come on now.
Yeah, and the 25 and 54 are battling, Milty. And Ken Saska, of course, fighting to stay on the lead lap, which is his right, Milty. He's very much allowed to drive his race.
Absolutely, there's no lucky dogs.
That's right. So
you gotta fight this thing right now.
I mean, if he just gets clipped by the leader by one bumper on a and Slim gets loose. And what a save and what reactions by the kid there. Isaac with a great job there of avoiding the contact. and saving Slim Jim's race right there, really.
Yeah, Slim needed to, he just snapped himself into a Slim Jim.
Wow, what a great job by the kid there, Milty. He's a true, whip on that wheel, man.
You only seen him run a dirt track for real, and he's got more of that coming up. Working on the cars, working with the team, spending, be nice if you're a millionaire, but him and his dad and family are doing this the hard way, old school.
That's right.
Saska in the wall. Just a little tap there should be good. That's going to let the leaders by. He's got to let it go. He gets way out.
Who retook the lead there when Slim got out of shape, gets by. Now Slim gets by, and now Ken and Isaac get by. So our top 4 is by. And then there's about a 6-second gap, a little over 5-second gap, Milty, back to 5th place, Rick Bisconner and Mark DeSenza and crew, and now it's about 5.5. So that second pack really benefited from this lap traffic issue from the leaders.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's this track, and Billy Yarbrough, you just see him in these races. He's always up around the top 5 every time. I mean,
really, I didn't notice.
This stuff is just right in his wheelhouse, and it was cool to see him in the GTP race. He showed up last minute, drove a Jaguar, and I think he got a podium. I mean, this guy's got skills, man. At Lime Rock,
yeah. He put him anything, maybe even with 2 wheels or 4 wheels on Sin.
Oh, we got smoke.
Yeah, we do.
Yellow flag is out. We gotta find that. We got a wreck here, and tires.
Yeah, I didn't really see anything, Milty, so we'll have to.
It was in front of the leaders as we were watching them both.
Yeah, we can rewind this real quickly here and see.
Here we go down the access road, which was talked about. Driver's meeting executed well by the leader, Bill Yarbrough. It happened pretty much in front of him. These cars are scrambling now to catch up with the leaders, and they're racing hard in under caution because they were so far behind. They want to make this gap here.
Okay, I saw the smoke again, so let's see if we can find this one, Milty. This is hard to find at this track here.
Yeah, in front of that.
And there we
looks
I think
like
we
Scott
found it.
McClendon, the new applicant, or is he a member now?
I got just a little loose onto that outside gray line and kind of semi-collected the 43 car, and then a scramble. Scramble by him.
Hard on the brakes there. Really a good job by Visconner.
And
not too much damage there. I think he'll be okay.
And Milty, if you drive a car that has 007 on it, you got to have driving skills like the Super Spy does in his little Aston Martins and stuff that he drives. Watch Mr. Bond here.
Just don't press
slide through this incident here, like a wham, right by. And then, very nice job by everyone else avoiding.
What he did, to preach time and time again. First thing you do is you see smoke, on the brakes, and then he took evasive action, got his car. Slower you can get yourself down,
More control, right? And he did.
Control you got.
Slowly merged back into traffic cleanly, and everyone's safe. Unfortunate for the 51. Hopefully not too much damage to the 51 or the 43. I saw Rick get kind of pinched there. We'll hope that he can get the repairs done now under caution. This also for Ryan Milty.
Problems with Bill Yarbrough and Ken Hansen in pits. We need to find that. They're apologizing on the scanner between their spotters. So They both feel like they were at fault there. Under caution. Let's see if we can find that.
Yeah, we got Bill's car here, so let's go back
As
into.
Bill said, he on the scanner, he told his spotter that he overshot and was backing up, and then there was contact with the 9. That's gonna definitely lose them some track position.
Yeah, we'll watch Bill Yarbrough as he comes into the pits here, Milty. Of course, 55 miles an hour pit road. You see him right at 54, nice and steady.
That's why he's got that number to remind him that's where I need to be, right at 54.
And you can see this is a sweeping, curving pit lane, Milty. And we see him
Bill
come
drives in car like
and he
a
hit
lot of
his
us
marks very nicely, Milty. Don't see any issue there.
Well, it must have happened somewhere, so let's play
Four
it
tire
out.
change for Bill Yarbrough.
Yeah, so they are green now again, so I guess we'll just have to get back to live action
Yeah,
here.
we
So,
don't really see.
but that's what I heard over the scanner there, so
So
something happened there.
yeah, we'll go back here to Green Flag Racing and get back up to the front here and see who our leaders are.
Isaac
Milty.
Johnson.
And that's a 72 car. Isaac Johnson, Pinky lap down, trying to get that lap back. Very tough to do here.
Yarbrough mired back at 14th now. He's gonna have to be patient, and he knows how to do this. But
yeah, he's gonna
have to.
He's gonna have fun. He's gonna have to do.
Oh, Slim, real close to the wall there.
Yeah, and also, you know, Slim gets right up. Oh, and Mark and Slim there almost came together, trying to get around Pinky there. Got stacked up just a bit, and that leaves Isaac Milty to draw away and really take about the biggest lead of this entire race for sure. Let's see if Slim and Mark DeSenza now in third can run him down. And there's a 007, Dan Jones in fourth, Milty.
Oh boy.
T-Roy up to fifth. So
Yeah,
T-Roy
qualified well and is making a statement here in that Fireball Whiskey Ford.
He sure is, and he's giving Dan all he can handle here for fourth place, Milty, as they work around Pinky in the, of course, pink car.
Do you want to touch? Do you want to touch me there?
There we see Ken Hansen in sixth, Milty. So he'll
oh, that's Joe Jett, sorry.
There's that 43 car, Rick Casconer. So it looks like Rick no worse for wear here in that Trans Am 43.
Beautiful car, well, the Warthog Racing.
And then we see the 5 car of Mark Dillon Jr. He's also 1 lap down now from that early spin, Milty, that he did not get the break of the yellow flag, and it cost him a lap right now. Currently, of course, you know, he can't start on that inside
car
line.
too, dude. That's like the cars my dad drove. They didn't have all the spot. They had like one little sticker on there, and it was sponsored by some rich guy, you know, or a bunch of guys just trying to like, you know,
a bunch of guys
helping
just
each other out.
bunch of
trying
guys
to
just
get a car on the track.
Yeah, they just reached into their pockets and had a couple
Absolutely.
fistful of dollars each,
That's
and
old school.
they shoved it towards someone and said, "Is this enough?" And the guy said, "Yeah, that's good enough." And they rolled the car out, and if it blew up, then they were going home. It was that simple.
Ryan Johnson has made some inroads. Oh, we got somebody around here. And that is, caution is out. That is
Caution is
191
out.
of Michael Sanders. Cautions breed cautions.
And let's take a
I can hear it. Woo! Oh. Like the 78 spotter.
Oh
is,
yeah, it looks like F. Jerry got a little loose there, Milty,
Yeah.
and got into the side of Mike Sanders, who got into the wall there. So
instantly, Jerry's spotter and Mike's spotter made communication there, and apologies were made.
go back
What
live.
do you do
Milty.
here? You're about 9-10 laps in. I think you gotta go in.
Yeah, it looks like the leaders are electing to go in, Milty. Then
Info.
see Isaac,
Don't
Slim, Mark DeSenza, Dan are all
mess
coming
around
in.
here.
T-Roy and Ken Hansen. So yeah, the all leaders coming in. We'll follow them down, Milty. See if we can get a better shot of this long, curving pit lane, Milty. Can be a little hard to pit a car on a curve, Milty.
Will any of these lap guys get their lap back? I don't think so.
I don't think so either, but we see Ken Hansen right in front there from the pole position. Bill Yarbrough slides in right behind him. Tough fit for Bill there with that loss of track position, Milton. We see Isaac gets out first, Mark DeSenza, Slim. So Mark and Slim swap positions on pit lane. Mark DeSenza with
Lots gonna happen though. Bill's got to keep fighting. He's already made up about 6-7 spots easy, and he can get right back in the thick of this thing. Just got to execute.
And then we see Bill, Jeff Hale right in front of him.
You were talking about what it's like to look. Get a chance, you ought to get one of these guys in car as these guys are pitting and see what it's like to hit your spot and look at your.
Absolutely.
Oh, and Mark Dillon Jr. missed his spot. There's no lines here.
Yeah, you can see it.
I didn't snort them up. I promise.
You can see the war wagons, Milty, and the sign comes down, but yeah, there's no markers to really. You can see there's some yellow.
Don't really look at that in the cockpit, though. You look at that marker. You look at that flag that comes down when they put that thing down. That's what you aim at.
Yeah, so yeah, these guys, and again, Milty, not a lot of laps on this track for anyone in FSB. This is a fairly new track to the series, so
yeah, it's new, and not everybody can run Tuesday when they run the chicken run, the precursor to this. People got to do life, so.
Yeah, and then we see the 060, as you mentioned earlier. Dean Gautreaux is currently showing as our leader. I don't know if he elected not to pit at all. So he's the only car to stay out, Milty. We didn't have too long of a run there, but yeah, like you said, you had to think you got to get freshies here at Pikes Peak.
Impressed with the 51 of Scott McClendon.
Running
well, and it's a pro sim racing league, so I mean, you stay running and battle these guys. You're a heck of a racer.
You're right, Milty, and this could be the window that these one lap down cars are looking for. Dean on the old tires, the inside one lap down cars with fresh tires, Milty. That should be a huge advantage for the 23, 07, and 5. And we see Pinky takes off, and you can see those new tires really do have an effect as he gets easily by Dean.
Gautreaux didn't pit, so you got Gautreaux's playing with the dice here. Why not, man? Huge track position. Maybe you get another caution, and then the rest of the leaders are gonna pit.
You're right, Milty. If
the 060.
If you can stay in the top 5 and a caution comes out, you've won. And you can see he's fighting Isaac, looking to pass. Isaac on fresh tires, Dean on a little older tires. Pinky on.
Oh boy, Isaac got real close. Had to get hard on the brakes there. Nice evasive action, and he's got that guy in the 6 behind him.
Yeah,
that
he
guy,
does.
There goes that man right there.
Yeah, and Isaac trying to do and Pinky gets a little loose in front of him and stacks Dean up behind him, and Isaac's going to take advantage and take an outside line around both of them. Nice move by the kid there. See if he can slam the door down, and he does, Milty. So nice move, and now Pinky really loose here.
The 72 car just went way. But Pinky got out of it too, though. That was smart racing. He realized, you know what, I had my chance. I'm beat. And
we see Mark
slotting in. I gotta gather it up. I can't take him out.
Yeah, Mark slots into that second position. Slim Jim third, right behind him, and now Dean back to 4th on those older tires. Let's see where Dean ends up here, Milty. before either if a green flag stop happens, he could be in trouble. He's really going to need a caution probably in the next like 5-10 laps, where he can really start feeling those tires.
Oh, low
And
straight. These guys are using all this track.
Dean fighting hard on that outside line, which is very difficult to do.
He needs
Dan
to get
on
back
the inside.
in and ride, but he's got the vultures are picking at his meat right here.
Yeah, they are.
Tiger meat getting chewed up here.
Right, and you can see now Dan is successful. T-Roy right behind him, and he's going to try to do the same. And there's that 54 car, Milty.
Where did that guy come from? From 16th to 7. He's right back in the thick of this thing. He's just such a polished, smooth, fast guy, you know. I mean, he's just really, if he raced more, he would have a lot of championships, but he's very picky what he wants to race, and he races for race wins. That's what he does, and every driver has a right to choose how they want to race. He's not worried about championships and finishing, and well, I mean, he's into finishing, you know. He races clean, but
yeah,
he looks
he
at
wants
things
to win
where
races.
he can win.
That's what he's here to compete on the races he wants to compete in, and when he competes, he's looking to win,
FSB,
not just driving around the back of the field having a good time. You know, and that's perfectly okay with me.
That's what I do. You know, I mean, if you don't say that, as a driver, you're a liar. You know?
I mean, you know.
That's exactly what I do. You know, you only have so much time to practice for these races. You got to pick and choose what you want to run, and oh boy,
T-Roy,
really
Dean,
close,
and Billy
right
Arbrough there throw a blanket on all three cars. Dean not going down without a fight here, and
a very difficult track.
And Dean doing a tremendous job on that outside line, and he's really not losing a lot of speed, but he's given the inside guys plenty of room to make their passes if they're faster, and he's doing a great job in managing those older tires, and he's just fallen to 7th position, but you know, that's a win when he was back in 16th, 17th place, Milty.
Someone we haven't talked about.
There goes Bill by
The
T-Roy.
29 car now up here in the top 10, patiently. And that bitchin' Camaro there, that Warthog Racing Camaro is going to move up right here.
Yeah, he's going to be creeping into our picture very shortly. Lap 58 of 140 here, FSBRacing.com. Pikes Peak International Raceway, Aero 88 Series, sponsored by our Pony Express Racing. And we can see some good race, and there's some action right there. Dean got a little loose. And Jeff taking the it's starting
to be a problem here.
Yeah, it is, and the back end's going to get happy here, Milty, as you get back on the gas on those worn rear tires. They're not going to want to grip; they're going to want to spin, and you're going to get loose out of the turns here. And Jeff doing a great job there, being patient. He's going to pick and choose his spots. He knows Dean's probably on old tires, Milty, so he knows it's just a matter of time before he gets around them. He doesn't want to do anything hasty and take them both out, because that's, you know, not serving either of them. So he'll get by him. I'm sure Dean will give him the ground that he needs to do what he needs to do, and we can see they're getting ready to be side by side here going into the turn. And it's a difficult place to pass here at Pikes Peak.
Jeff Hale's taking that outside line in. These guys are working that outside groove, starting to make it work.
And we go back to this 17 and 54 battle right ahead of him, Milty, and Billy Arbrough up to 5th place. And that car's on a rail, I think, Milty, and I think he's going to be heading into the top 3 very shortly. He's going to
cut into the top 10 here. And he gets a little sideways, but he's working the outside line, and definitely staying with that pack.
He's running that Harry Gant line way up against the wall.
Yep.
And there we see 3rd place car, Mark DeSenza, just cruising along, just about a second and a quarter off the lead, and there's Slim Jim in 2nd, about a half second, as we see, lap 62 of 140. And there we see the 72 car, Isaac Johnson, is our leader, and He's looking really solid out here, Milty. Looks like he can really
It's
pull
like
away.
fourth pack for top 15. Got Ryan Johnson, the veteran, and Scott McClendon hanging in there with him, running a great race in the 51 Coca-Cola car.
Yeah, and of course the 51 with that spin earlier, Milty. Good to see him still trying to come back from that and doing well. That's sometimes discouraging, and you can lose your focus once something like that occurs.
Dog with that bitch and Camaro paint job. He's surprisingly the 5 didn't get too much damage, I think, on that head on there, and the crew did a great job. The car looks good, and he pretty much paced Dog there and gained that 18th position.
And we see Bill Yarbrough as we check back in, Milty, up to 4th now. He got around the 007, and as did T-Roy. So T-Roy up to 5th, Bill Yarbrough up to 4th, trying to chase down Mark DeSenza. About, Milty, a 3.5-second gap there between Bill Yarbrough in 4th and Mark DeSenza in 3rd. We'll see if Bill Yarbrough can knock that time down. I think he's going to. There we see 007. I don't know if he's struggling or trying to get into tire and maybe some fuel conservation mode, thinking maybe we will see a green flag lap. Hey, he's the race winner. He's a defending series winner right now, Milty. Back-to-back wins in a Winston Cup series is extremely rare and extremely difficult to accomplish.
Well, the biggest loser was, I think, the 9 car. We didn't catch that, but Ken Hansen all the way back to 16th.
And we'll have to check if there's any penalties.
We got a big wreck there. We got a big wreck. Caution is out. And that would be...
and the 60 car's smashed up, it looks like there, Milty.
The 060 of Dean Gotro. Hard into the wall.
Yeah, let's take a quick look at that. Milty, he was on the outside. Jeff Hale just got around him. Joe Cutt going around him. Joe Cutt had to get on the brakes because he got in a little hard on Jeff, and he pushed up into Dean on the outside, unfortunately. And Dean hard into the wall. No one else, it appears, collected in it. So unfortunate for Dean. He was doing everything that he really needed to do there, giving ground, and unfortunately, a little stack up underneath him cost him a hit hard into the wall. We can see the rear end damage there to the car as he goes down the access road here into pit lane, and that's some hard damage that might be an issue to fix completely. So he may be having some handling issues from here forward as we hit lap 68 of 140. See cars in the pits, 17 T-Roy there. We see the 6 car Mark DeSenza punching out. T-Roy. There we see the 83 car Steve Weber. 29 Jeff Hale, 51 coming out. 88 Joe Cutt coming out. Mike Sanders, F. Jerry also coming out. So pit parade there. We see Ken Hansen. Car looks okay, so let's see if Ken can take advantage of this caution, gather himself, and get back to the front. Our pole sitter tonight, Ken Hansen, currently showing in 15th position. 17 cars on the lead lap. 4 cars just 1 lap down. All 21 cars still running, Milty, after 70 laps, so we're halfway. Everyone's still running, so you can see how points implications in this Winston Cup series can really play into a factor here. You could be leading this race halfway through, have one issue, and you can go from 45, 48, 46 points to 15, 18 points in a heartbeat, and that can really swing these points. That's why it's very important, if you have an issue early on in these races, not to just fold it up, because you're really going to get punished in the points.
Absolutely, and this thing is not even, it's just now at the halfway point lots of action left, and it's going to get more hairy as guys start to push to get
We see the light is up on the
results
pace
here.
car. Isaac, our leader. Mark Descends second. Slim Jim, Dan, and now appearing in the top 5, Milty, 83 car.
Well, it shows you what you got to do. You got to execute, and he was mired back in about 20th place, and then got 18th, and then was fighting for 15th. But executing these pit stops, you understand why he is the defending champion.
And new paint, Milty. He's
Consistency.
looking pretty. He's got a new outlook on the season, I think, here for
The
Steve.
monsoon.
Looking really nice. Yeah, it's a really good looking car. And yeah, we're at the halfway point, Milty. Lap 70. We're gonna go back green. So here we go. We see some lap down cars on the inside. Ken Soska now leading that line. And we see Isaac with a great restart, Milty, and he's had great restarts.
Oh boy, he got sideways. No problem. That wasn't even. He didn't even take a breath there. Probably this kid is gonna drive on the edge. He knows what he needs to do.
Well, and he
It's
knows
obvious
who's behind
that
him too.
the leader has air on the nose, but the second place guy has some draft there. So
Yeah, and you can push just a bit if you get in real close to someone into these turns. So you can get
the
the
150 into the corner drafting. It's
yeah,
pretty
so-
fast.
But man, we can see Isaac really powers off of these corners nicely, Milty. He takes that low line right around the apex and then just powers out to the almost to the wall. And that's really
gets loose and lets by the 25.
yeah, and
Slim Jim Gaten.
Mark is not used to having to chase anyone down. He's used to being the chaser or having everyone chase him. He's trying to chase down the kid there and maybe got pushed the car just a little too early, too soon, and got out of shape. And Slim Jim takes advantage of people's mistakes, Milty. That's what he preaches. Drive the track, don't drive the cars. When there's mistakes made, you can take advantage of them. You run your race, and then if you're there with 10 to go, then you roll up your sleeves. And
we see them gobble
man,
Bill
that's
up,
what he does.
and he's not worried about where Isaac's going. He's just racing. It's obvious that with this professional field here that we're going to have some green flag racing.
Yeah, these guys have really done a good job. Just a couple cautions, Milty, here and on a difficult track. Bill Yarbrough, Dan Jones together again, Milty. These guys have been kind of linked at the waist this whole race, and we see Bill in fourth, Dan in fifth.
That's like James Bond and Felix Leiter right there, you know.
Absolutely, or Q or something. Is Bill Yarbrough like Q, Milty, or something, or M?
Yeah, possibly, but he's more like the American version of James Bond. You know, whenever James Bond really needs some help, he's got Felix Leiter.
Yeah, there he is.
Take care of it for him.
And you can see they're working some lap traffic as well, so that can shuffle some.
And there's a gap there as Felix kind of bobbled there a little bit, and these guys are gapped in between here.
Yeah, we see the 99 car, who I'm surprised to see a lap down. I didn't see how Pops got a lap down, but he did, and we'll see if he's still got almost half a race to get that back. And if anyone could get a lap back, it is Pops. So we'll follow.
Like you said, this is a new track for these guys. So the pit stops. Oh boy, Mark Dillon Jr. gets sideways, driving the heck out of that thing.
And we see that 5 car. Yeah, and he's all the way up against the wall there, Milty. So yeah, he's having some handling struggles there. He's, down all the way low. He's chasing the car all the way up the track just to get it to keep going forward. He's.
Here comes Slim Jim.
Let's move back up to the front here, and we see Slim. It has slowly chipped away at the kid's lead.
He was so confident in the pre-race and drivers meeting practice sessions. He just looked like he was sitting on a stack of seeds there, like he knew something was going to be up.
Yeah, and he's very smooth.
I won't tell you, I'll show you.
Yeah, that's what he does. And we saw Slim take the lead early on, Milty, about halfway through a fuel run.
Let's go in car with Slim here a little bit, and let's watch how he deals with the 72 here and backs the car up here. Quite amazing. Such a wide exit out of turn 4. They use all the track cover here. They swing wide in, trail brake right in through here, and then roll right in the center. Here, get feathering the gas. And then back on it. He looks in total control of this car. He can pick and choose where he wants to pick his line. Kind of going outside in a little. And really getting out of the gas there. We're going to have to see how this plays out with these guys. If Isaac's taking a more inside in line and outside out, Slim is arcing the corner just a little bit more, just a couple, inches.
Yeah, and you can see the corners, Milty, here are not very steeply banked. It is very flat here.
They're going to get way out of it.
So yeah, you really got to get out of the gas. You got to let it roll around these corners. And you can hear Slim not on the gas until really getting around the full apex of the turn, Milty.
Just letting that car plant and settle down.
Right on the back bumper of the kid. I think he's trying to make the kid a little uncomfortable here. You can get up on the back bumper of someone and maybe get that car a little happy in front of you, Milty. And Slim, is going to run his line, and you can see he got real close to that back bumper a lap ago.
I think got loose on the exit there. I can tell you from experience.
You just cracked a little window of opportunity for Slim there.
Gets your attention. Because he's not going to make a mistake. He's not going to wreck you. He's just going to get right up on you and wait for you.
That's one thing. If for Isaac's peace of mind, Isaac knows he's not going to get wrecked, so he can run his line, and Slim will allow him to run his line, Milty. And if he's faster, Slim will figure out a way to get around him. And so that's nice confidence to know that the guy that you're racing, if he's just better than you, he'll find a way around you.
150 down to 116 in the
we can bring up some telemetry here. We can see the speed there in the top center of the screen, up to 140 plus miles an hour into the corner there. You can see the lap times there, Milty. He's about 0.4 of a second off his best lap. So tire wear does play a factor here as he gets right up onto the back bumper, and now taking an outside line look here, which is a very difficult way to go.
But he's keeping all 4 tires in the groove right there with the rubbers laid down and the grip level. Once you get past into the gray right there, the track flattens out, at least from what I'm seeing. You're going to stay right in there. He just kind of showed him a little bit. Here I am, and now he backed off, and that move did hurt him, about a car length, but...
And then we see our top...
coming in the mirror. That's another guy you don't want behind you. See that blue nose right there in your mirror. Uh-oh. And he's getting closer and closer.
Yeah, now you can see our top three have really pulled away from the rest of the field, Milty. And
About 4.3 seconds.
guys are really doing a nice job. Bill Yarbrough desperately trying to get back in the mix, but when these guys are lined up single
he's up
file,
to fourth now, so he's good. He's got to hope for another caution right now. He has no help, so.
Well, of course, you can
really
always hope that
help.
these top three mix it up and swap some positions, and that will help him pick up some time as well. We'll see if these top three just stay in line and try to get to a green flag stop here, Milty. Both times it looked like we were about to get to,
we were really close,
within 10 laps. And cautions both times. So tire wear might be playing a factor here, Milty, with some of these guys running a little too hard too early. And then before, as we said, before your fuel runs out, those tires give it up. But we see that top three just running real smooth, and again they're approaching lap traffic with their speed.
17
Checking out the 54 Bill Yarbrough. T-Roy right there behind Bill Yarbrough.
It's
going back to
California right there,
83
boy.
and 007 right there.
Pops, what a shame.
Jeff
man. He's
Hale.
got a good car. He's staying right with T-Roy, but he has. Oh, and T-Roy
Blinked out there, yeah.
For a second.
Yeah, T-Roy disappeared just for a bit there, Milty. So connection issue persisting for the 17 and for the 191, who is still running. He's 2 laps down, Mike Sanders, but he's fighting a good fight.
Steve Weber and Dan Jones both lost track position in that last set of caution stops.
Yeah, true, Milty. And also, for some reason, Dan's car is just not responded in this latest green flag run. For some reason, the cars really just went backwards. Bad set of tires, Milty. He's probably on the horn to the crew chief saying, "What'd you put on? Some scuffs or something?" This is Pikes Peak, man. I need freshies.
I think he pressed the machine gun or maybe the red button. I don't know.
You can say your line, Milty. Please, get it out. Let's get it out.
Which one?
You know, I don't expect you to.
Yeah, oh, okay.
That's your favorite line.
Do you expect me to talk? No, Mr. Bond. I expect you to die.
And we can see from this long view, Milty, the sweeping nature of these corners. They're not really a true oval-like corner. Very long distance corners, and you can see just that little, almost a short shoot
like
backstretch.
Combination of New Hampshire, Rockingham, and what was the other track?
Well, that's a pretty decent comparison. Yeah,
Yeah, those two.
I drove like about 10-15 laps on the chicken run practice session, and it really felt as you drove into these corners like New Hampshire, where you feel like you have to get off the gas on almost on the back straight, where you normally don't want to get off the gas that early, but you have to, or the car really just pushes from bottom to top. So you can see these guys are doing a really nice job of angling these cars down into these corners, Milty, and we can kind of also see how it dips down, almost going downhill into these corners as well.
Huge gaps between these cars here. This crazy action here as fatigue and track position and these pit stops. These guys are pit crews, and they're how they execute these caution stops, let alone if we had a green flag stop. Definitely spread the field out. Here comes Mark DeCenza. He's right there. And he's taking a look down on Slim Jim Daly.
And he's down low,
yeah.
He'll take that position,
right
Milty, as we're riding with Mark now.
We knew what Deep Rocket was about here. He just stepped back and let him go, and he's working this thing, man.
Well, we know what Mark likes. He likes leading laps. He doesn't like following a car. I think he just feels more comfortable in his own driving when he's out front.
Well, when you got that kind of skill, you know?
Yeah, and of course he finds himself at the front quite often, so it works out well for him too. But right now he's dealing with this kid, and the kid, you know, is really making Mark do everything he can here. And you know, we're on lap 101, Milty. Only 39 laps remaining in this race. And Mark DeCenza very frustrated with, you know, trying to get some laps led here.
Well, he was patient, and now he got by Slim, but Slim's going to do the same thing.
We'll back up and now keep an eye on all three cars.
No worries here. We're right here. Let's work this thing and let them battle it out.
And let's remember, Milty, we went green at about lap 70. We're at lap 102, so we're about 32 laps into this run. So again, we're in that about 10
in the Tampax 23 car.
We're at 37 remaining, so we're inside the window, Milty, where you can pit and finish the race if it stays green. But the fact is, you saw green cautions come out in these last 10 laps of fuel. So if you're the leaders, what do you do?
You gotta keep your track position.
And let's remember one other thing too. Green flag stops, Milty. Got to use the access road here, and that can prove to be the difference maker maybe amongst these top three. They're running nose to tail right now. You have to think after pit stops they won't be.
Isaac's starting to get tight.
And Slim just waiting and waiting to pounce.
They cooled his tires down.
Oh, and it looked like
got a car off.
Caution is out, Milty. Again, caution is out.
I think that's Dog.
Yeah, it looked like Dog was pitting and then decided against it, but we'll have to...
Didn't see nothing on the scanner.
And we can see the 51 car is retired, Milty, so I think the 51 car had an issue there. As we are not going to leave, we're not going to look at the replay here, Milty. We're going to stay live. Yeah, we'll stay live with these pit stops because this could be the difference of who's going to win this race.
Right here. This is the money stop right here, boys.
We're following Slim Jim down into the pits. We see Isaac and Mark DeCenza. Bill Yarbrough as well is our fourth place driver. And you can see ahead of them the three leaders. So good luck there. Bill is going to pass Mark DeCenza. And pit way down here around the curve. And you can see
McClendon just lost it. Nice save, but then
everyone in safely.
Just backs into the wall and heavy damage to the rear. And I think he exited out.
Slim out.
That car is back behind the wall.
And it was a battle between Slim and Mark DeCenza and Milty. Woo! Isaac not getting the stop he needed there. And he comes out third out of the
two veterans really say what's up right now.
Yeah, and I don't know who made it out there. It appears Slim Jim saying I made it out. Mark says, I don't know. I might have beat you out, Slim Jim.
NASCAR will tell us them who made it out.
Yeah, we're riding with Isaac right now, who came out in the third. And we see Slim Jim beat out Mark DeCenza. So Slim Jim went from third to first. Isaac first to third. Mark DeCenza stays in second, Milty. Isaac now has something to run for with just about 32 laps to go when we go green.
Well, when you look at these situations like this, and you've run at a certain pace. This is what makes these guys so great. And you know, you may be able to. I know personally, I may be able to hang with them for and be a top 5 guy, but the execution late in the race and the difference of understanding now, okay, now we're going to go back green with like 34. You know, how hard do I push?
Yeah, and
That's
let's
almost, do I push too hard? Do I push hard, or do I do the same thing I did
and
before? It's,
big,
you know,
and this is a big reprieve for several drivers, Milty, amongst them the 007 car, who we saw really struggling and going backwards. This could help Dan get back up into that top 5. And Ken Hansen, Milty, is just lurking right outside the top 10 now. So Ken, maybe a new lease on life with this final caution, hopefully. Lap 108 of 140, so certainly inside a fuel window now to finish the race. No stops needed. Question is, will we have any further cautions? But Ken Hansen, new lease on life, I think, here. It's got to feel good in 11th position. F. Jerry in 12th. And Ryan battling back from that early glance off the wall in 13th. He's the last car on the lead lap. So 13 cars on the lead lap. As we go back green, we'll go back in front and check our leaders. There we see Isaac, Mark DeSenza, and
what's
Slim
Slim
Jim.
gonna do? Is Slim gonna try to gap like Isaac did, or is he gonna try to just keep him behind? And you got a lot to think about here. It's tire wear, and you got that rocket behind you.
Yeah, well, I think that's his first concern is, will Mark DeSenza press him? Oh, and Slim's loose, Milty. He's very loose. He had to get on the brakes.
Oh.
Mark DeSenza and Isaac make it almost 3 wide. Now, Isaac, what a run to the inside, but Mark slams the door. And that's a veteran driver and the kid saying, yeah.
Yeah.
And Slim off the outside wall, Milty. So all of a sudden, Slim having issues. And Bill Yarbrough, a dog right there, too. And Pops, those lap down cars, and Bill and Slim all mixed together there. And it looked like Slim bounced off the outside wall there, Milty. These fresh tires can be a handful if you're off the line.
Especially when you got the rocket behind you, you know this guy is like Jeff
And
Hale.
Bill Yarbrough makes a power move right there on Slim. And he'll take the position from him. And Bill Yarbrough up to third, Milty. And yeah, here he comes. What a move by Bill Yarbrough. Out the in and just powered out of the turn.
From 17th or 18th to P3 now.
And there we see our leader, Mark DeSenza. Isaac not letting him get away, though. Right behind him. And then we see Bill Yarbrough just 1.6 off the lead. So we'll see now, can Bill chase these two down? And it looks like Isaac now has taken the lead, Milty. We'll have to quickly rewind that to see how that occurred. And we can see Isaac just making a power move from out to in.
He's so good on
Look at the kid there. Just powered around Mark DeSenza there. You don't see that happen very often.
Mark is not even tripping, man, because right now he's seen what happened the last run. He knows that he can come right back to him. Discipline, hit your marks, save those tires.
It sounds like a Mark DeSenza's crew chief would say to him, Milty, not what FSB announcer Milty, trying to coach him from the broadcast booth here.
That's what I would tell myself, you know. I mean, that's what you have to do.
But the kid's trying to run away with this race now, so you got to
racer. You're Roger Penske and Brad Keselowski. You got to drive and do, and you got a spotter, but. I mean, you basically got to multitask here, you know.
Yeah, you got to do some multitasking and hope that you don't turn the car around upside down or something. But, you know, the kid wants to push and push and push and try to pull away from Mark DeSenza. And if Mark's just trying to run a race here, you got to stay in touch with the leader. As these laps can click down really quick under green flag conditions.
Draft doesn't seem that important. He's definitely in the draft, and you got to be 1.5. So I mean,
And we see
he's saving tires right now. I really think he's really. He looks real deliberate coming out of the corners there, but so does Isaac. Looks good. It's so minimal. Well, as a driver, and you know too, you're a pro driver, you know, and you sit there and you wonder, how do I get beat? And it's just every lap, every corner, just one little tick, and 3 or 4 inches is the difference between these guys up front here and the rest of them pro drivers behind.
Yeah, and as you were saying, Milty, Slim Jim has retired from the race. So Slim, from looking maybe to be a potential race winner to out of the race, and he'll finish way back in 18th position, Milty. And like we said, boy, you have a problem here with these fields and these lead lap cars that just refuse to go a lap down. Man, one mistake and you can really get punished in the points.
And you never know. I mean, like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago in the GTP race, Mike Baker's granddaughter came up and grabbed his arm while he was racing, and unfortunately, it was not good for me. But I mean, people are doing life. You got kids around. You got family. I mean, you never know. He could have had something distracting him. And like
Yeah,
him
you never
to,
know. You're right. Yeah, it's very. Everyone knows that Slim usually doesn't have any issues of, you know, bouncing off walls and doing anything like that. That's crazy stuff from Slim. Maybe the car, when he locked up the tires there, maybe could have got a red tire or something. It can happen when you lock up these cars sometimes.
4.35 already. That cream of the crop is just so much better than everybody else.
Yeah,
really amazing.
But what I'm also seeing and watching these intervals, Milty, is the Bill Yarbrough interval continues to just tick down a bit. It goes up a bit and then it goes down, and then it goes maybe up a 0.01, but then it goes down, 0.3. So Bill slowly trying to get back into this race, and that's some great driving by Bill. He went all the way from the front to really the back, Milty, and now back to the front, and on a very difficult track under mostly green flag conditions.
Got so much talent. I've seen him win in every NASCAR 3 discipline there is. Trans Am, GTP, Pro Cup, FSB Cup, Pro Truck, FSB Truck. There's nothing, road courses, short tracks, super speedways, there's nothing he can't do behind that wheel.
And we can see he's just about 7/10 off Mark DeSenza, 1.2 from our race leader Isaac Johnson. And,
well, we saw the last time Isaac did this for about 20 laps, and then after he got to lap 20 in the run, which we were looking at, I think when we went green, we were looking at like a 34 lap run if it stayed green.
About 30, yeah, and we're down to about 17 laps to go, Milty. So if you're Mark DeSenza, you really need to try to fill up the mirror a little more than where you are right now.
I think he knows exactly what he's doing. He knows exactly the tendency of the last run. That's what the great drivers do. It's one thing to think it, because I can think it, but to execute, because when you break this race down now, you're looking at, 5 cautions or something like that, 4 or 5 cautions. Each one of those things is like a reset, and you got to analyze what just happened, what's going to happen, what you think's going to happen, and here he comes.
Yeah, here he comes.
0.2 of a second off the last lap.
Yep, and he is now filling up the mirror.
That's why he's a
what we're also
world
seeing.
champion.
What I'm also seeing now, Milty, is Bill Yarbrough has gone from 1.1 to 1.6 seconds behind, it's possible in his hard charge up to the front here, from where he started this restart, it may have taken a little toll on those tires, and he's trying to maybe back off just a bit to make one more run at it.
Plus that focus I was talking about, you know, you got these 5 different brakes or 6 to bring it the next time. You have a couple bad corners, a couple bad laps, a little lapse in focus. That's all it takes in a professional league like this. It's just, and you're like, what the? And that's what happens to me, you know. And that's what the stock car racing in this league is so close. Even when you have a chance, you have to bring it from every lap and every corner to win in this league.
And this is where we're going to watch some action, Milty. The 007-29 battling for a top 5 here. Steve Weber in 4th there ahead of him. Also right in the mix there. And man, there's almost contact between them, and really, and Joe Cutt got loose there, Milty, and Ken Hansen's going to take advantage of that, and he'll take a position away from Joe Cutt. So Ken Hansen up to 7th now, Milty, from starting this last restart. He started 11th, Milty, and he's up to 7th. So that caution was a real good time for Ken Hansen.
And Joe Cutt, yeah, definitely.
And now Joe Cutt's got his hands full, though, with T-Roy and Rick Bisconner now, Milty. And this is a battle for 8th, 9th, and 10th positions. And you can see the racing furious in this back half of the top 10.
These are points. This is race 3 of 20. So, right? 20?
Yeah, 20 race. That's right.
3 of 20. So every position matters.
Yeah, and these guys are in it for the long haul, so
yes,
it does matter. And finishing 8th is much better than finishing 10th. And we see Jeff Hale and Ken Hansen now battling for 6th and 7th position. Dan has won that battle with Jeff Hale, and he's moved on. And he's trying to run down Steve now.
Studs, man. I mean, those guys are studs, and they're battling to try to get to the top 5.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to go back up to the front, Milty, because I'm seeing intervals dropping.
Real close here.
And Mark descends.
This is par for the course of what we've seen, and it's easy to sit here in the booth and say, well, you know, you need to do this, but these guys this is what Mark do, you know.
We're gonna ride a little with Mark here, Milty. Lap 133 of 140, so less than 10 to go. Will Mark make his move early or late?
Look, this is what he did last time. You notice he was running about 8 feet off the line later in the race. And this is what I try to do. But later in the run here, or earlier in the run, I should say. Later in the run here, now you see Mark backing it up and taking it down real low here. This is all about tire conservation and the fact that grip level with worn tires in that second groove, about 6-8 feet from where they're running. You see Isaac's trying to run that inside line where they weren't doing before, which is exactly what I would do. You gotta defend now, gotta defend now.
If you're Isaac, you gotta take away Mark's line there, Milty, and looks like he's watching his mirror. He sees Mark
wasn't running that line before. Earlier, and neither was Isaac. Isaac was faster in that 1.5 groove or whatever. Now they're defending low. Really bad, trying to keep those tire temps down. You see how hard Isaac is pushing coming up.
Yeah, you're really pushing off the corner, Milty, and that's what we were talking about. You got to use up this whole track as you chase it up the track if you want to keep the power down. And Isaac, of course, knows who's behind him and knows that the first opportunity of weakness, Mark is going to pounce. And we're on lap 136 of 140, Milty. Mark is going to have to make a move very soon here.
A little outside in there, just about 2 feet different than he did the last lap. when you analyze this stuff, these guys are so good. They put that car right where they want it. Oh, he got down right on the white line there. And that hurt him a little bit.
Yeah, it looked like it did make him wiggle just a bit, Milty.
Isaac is not.
And Isaac is just hitting his
afraid.
marks right now, Milty. And he's
Come on,
just
son.
he's really taken away Mark's line and has run it and has been just as successful as Mark running it. And that's really neutralized what Mark is doing.
Do what you did the whole race here.
Mark's going to have one last run here at it, Milty, 138.
Back up the corner a little bit. Let him get on there.
And here he comes. He's right up onto the back bumper of him.
Defend low. 2 to go.
We're going to see the white flag once they come back around. Milty, Mark trying to figure out a way to get around him.
Oh, look how Mark gets. Mark is so disciplined. Gets down on that. It's so easy to want to press that gas pedal. Got to race the track still. Now he's looking high here as the white flag
Isaac's
flies.
gonna white flag so Isaac can
He's
defend
got a really
here.
Good run right here.
He does, but Isaac went up
Defend
high,
low,
took
son.
away
Defend low.
his
That's
advantage
great
right there.
Great driving right there.
Let's see if Mark can make one last run on this little short
he
back
got
stretch. Mark's gonna have to make the pass on the outside
Mark's
though,
not gonna
Milty.
wreck him. He's not gonna wreck him. He
Who
chose
will
the
it be?
outside
Who will it
because he had
be?
the red.
Oh, Mark got loose
Oh,
on that outside
contact.
line. It didn't look like there was any contact. Mark got
Isaac
loose,
Johnson.
and Isaac will take the
Okay.
win. A great battle with Mark DeSenza there. Mark got just a little loose there on that outside line, probably when he put the gas
Fantastic.
down. And he quickly shuts
Mark
off.
Mark has to go to work. So when you're watching here, fans, we probably won't be able to get him
Yeah, we probably won't
on
be
the
able to talk
post
to
race.
Mark. But
He's going to work right now, so this thing's done. Because normally he's a stand-up guy, likes to hang out and bullshit, but it's not going to happen tonight because it's a work deal, you know.
we see the guys slowly coming down.
Got
pit
some
lane.
viewers on Twitter. Thank you. Good battle. Yep, absolutely.
And then we're quickly looking at our official standings, Milty. What a great run by the kid there at the end, Milty. I felt Mark was really the better car there in those last 6-7 laps.
He was.
And he was really reeling them in, working that high to low line. And I think once he got there, Isaac was watching what he was doing the whole time and just said, I'm going to do the exact same thing he's doing. And he did it just as well as Mark, and I think that caused Mark to maybe push it just a bit there.
Burn that thing off, son. Burn it. Look, man, I mean, Mark is a class act. I've known this guy for like 14, 15 years, racing in CC racing and this league. He's a multiple champion, but he don't do it by wrecking people. And just another class run right there. And he had the run, and the other runs you seen, Isaac would have he gave that a position up. The young man raced just a smart race, and he knew his strengths, and his strengths were he was great. His crew did a great job in the pits, and then on restarts he was just fantastic, and he could get a gap, and then he defended just like a pro, man. That's a badass win right there.
Yeah, and
It's
looking at this final running order, we see our top three: Isaac, Mark, as we just saw a great battle to the end there. Bill Yarbrough hangs on the third. I think the car got used up just a bit, Milty, in his charge to the front. But hey, he charged from 6th, 7th position all the way to third.
Yeah,
He'll
great
take
fight.
a podium finish for Bill Yarbrough. Great job by him. Webb again,
Hopefully
one
we
of
can get him in the
those.
booth.
One of those typical Weber races, Milty, that we're so used to seeing. He starts 23rd, 24th,
That's why he's a
15th,
champion.
18th, and all of a sudden, when it matters most, we were talking about him in the top 5, and he takes home a very hard-fought 4th place finish over Dan Jones, our last week's race winner, backs up the win with the top 5, Milty.
Right here.
Oh, Milty, when you back up your win with a top 5,
Puntos,
yeah,
man.
yeah. backing up a win with a top
Yeah,
five
Ken
is,
Hansen in 6 after sitting a week
yeah, big winner
and
of
then
that last
running
caution.
strong. Yeah, another great fight back to the top there.
Yeah, a big winner on that last caution. Ken Hansen parlayed that. Started back 11th on that restart, Milty. Powers all the way to the 6th spot. Great job by Ken. Fighting off Jeff Hale and Joe Cutt. Again, Joe Cutt and Jeff Hale. You know, Jeff, not the greatest. I'm not going to say a bad race
This
for
is not
Jeff,
this is
but
not his
man,
strength.
he,
He's a
he
super
yeah,
speedway
we
and super speedway. The shorter tracks, me and him are real similar, except I'm not as good as him. But
you're the same, but he's
but
better,
we
so
have
you're
the
not the
same.
same.
Yeah,
But
but we have that same weakness where these smaller tracks were not
yeah,
just
this is
quite as
again
good. You know?
just a few steps over a mile long. But Jeff Hale, you know, he didn't do anything spectacular, Milty, but he got a top 10, he
Good
got his
points.
points, and he'll move on to the next race where our
He knows how
traditional
to win
1.5
championships.
mile tracks, you know, that's where he shines.
Yeah.
Joe Cutt again, great run by Joe Cutt. Started in the back all the way into the top 10, eighth place. Rick Bisconner,
What's
T.
up,
Roy,
Joe Cut?
good runs for Rick and T. Roy. So Jeff Hale, the Warthog Racing, plates 2 into the top 10, Milty. So that's some team points as well for the guys.
Well, my first look at Scott McClendon, and it didn't end up well for him, but I saw a lot of promise there. And
Oh,
the
this
first
is
time I
tough.
saw him on the
It's
track,
tough,
and
tough
this
track.
is
Not
this
the
is a tough field, tough track.
yeah,
I
and
was very impressed. Along with all these drivers, did well. Dean Gotro had a run there where he had a chance to get in the money, and but these races are
yeah,
hard to
and you
win.
know, 140 laps, Milty. You really, like you said, you got to keep your focus. You got to keep your eye on the ball at all times. It's easy in that many laps to wander off and have something happen
Well, I'm gonna step away for a second, and we'll try to get the top three. Depending on, looks like Mark's probably gone, but
to you. Well, there we
we'll
see
see.
Isaac's paint on the windscreen that just popped up. So at least we get to show what his paint should look like there. So great job by Isaac. There we see our top 10. Uh, doesn't stay on the screen long. I apologize for that. So, and now Milty will go grab the guys.
We almost wrecked each other.
Apologize for that. Okay, so it looks like we're gonna get our race winner to join us shortly here, and I think we finally have wrangled him from driving those rear tires, I think, to the cords in that burnout there, Isaac. But a great race win. Hard fought with one of the best that FSB has, Mark DeSenza. Uh, right up onto your bumper, side by side, but you held him off, Isaac. you were able to kind of run out early on those runs, and he was able to kind of reel you in toward the end of them. What were you thinking there as those laps wound down?
I was just waiting for him to make a move. Um, I was really surprised that he let me go there early on in the run. Um, but I mean, he was just back there saving his tires, and I was just waiting on him to fill up my rear view mirror, and he finally did. But he never could get off the corner good enough to get below me, and that's really what caused me to win the race. But he did get up to my door going into 3 on the last lap, but I didn't think he had been able to make it work up on the high side, so I was more than happy to give him the high side.
Well, that's I expect that humble response from you, but from what I was seeing, I was watching a fantastic orchestrated race. At the end there, you and him saw the tendencies. You knew you were going to be faster than him early. You had done it every run, and at the end, you changed your lines and you defended. You made him try to go around you, and you executed. He put the pressure on. Gray Racing with a couple great pros right there. So my hat's off to you. That was a fantastic win. That was a great job, Isaac.
Yeah, if I wanted to beat anyone for a win like that, I'd want it to be him. Me and him, we race each other all the time, and I get him sometimes, and he gets me sometimes, and this time it was my turn.
Yeah, that was a tremendous run there, Isaac, and really good job and very exciting there at the end. Like you said, he got up to your door there, and we saw very difficult to pass unless someone really wanted to let you go. And passing on the outside, like you said, that would really be something to see, because man, you got out of that low dark colored groove and the car really was unstable.
Yeah, it was difficult to pass all night. I fortunately didn't really have to do a whole lot of it, because just where I ended up lining up on most of the restarts. I was really worried about how I was going to shake out whenever I lined up third on that last restart, because I mean I thought they were faster than me. I figured they had been able to hold me off long enough for their tires to get to where they wanted them, and then they just drive away from me.
So this points update is current. The points have been put in.
No, this is before the race points.
Okay. So Isaac's gonna move up.
Take a little bit. There we go. Now we got refreshed points here, and trying to find Isaac. There we find him in up 5 positions into 12th place, but just 6 points out of 9th. So right in the mix there, Milty. Jeff Hale hangs on to his lead. Mark DeCenza, though, up 4 positions into 2nd position, just 6 points off the lead now. Rick having a great first 3 races, Milty.
Consistency. That's how.
And that's what we
Steve
talked
Weber
about.
won it.
Yeah.
No wins
And speaking
and
of our
consistent finishes.
right, and speaking of our defending, or 2 seasons ago, champion Steve Weber, he's up in tied for 5th with the 007 car of Jones, Dan Jones, who backed up his race win, Milty, with a solid top 5, and that's paid off in the points. He's up 3 positions into the top 5. Pops kind of struggled. I don't know how he lost that lap, Milty, but he did. Could never get it back because guys like Isaac and Mark were just too fast at the front. We're not allowing those lap down cars to get back
close,
anything.
yeah.
And that hurt Pops. He lost 2 positions in the points, but he's still in the top 5. But we can see the squeeze, Milty. Just 21 points separate the top 10. That's a nice, tight grouping of guys after 3 races.
So Isaac, and we got a little forum here, and you won the race. maybe you can tell us a little about what your plans are for some real racing here, dirt track, in the
I
near
might
future.
be. Well, uh, they ended up selling the race car that I raced that one time, which I was pretty disappointed about. But
Oh man.
I'm gonna. But the guy that let me race it, he said, well, he races also, but he's gonna let me run his car in hot laps for a few weeks and see if he thinks that I'm ready to run that car, because it's a class above the class I ran last time I raced. And if he says that he thinks I'm ready for a race, and if he's not leading the points or anything, he's gonna turn me loose. That'll probably
Awesome.
be at least 4 weeks from now, if I were to run it again. But um, we've been also working on the go kart here lately, and I think I'm gonna be able to run a few more races with that before the year's out. So
That's awesome. I mean, uh, we're all big fans of real racing, and we do this because we wish we were real racers, and we're rooting for you. Money is
Yeah, absolutely,
is
Racing.
the
That's
whole day
awesome stuff, man.
is it really is awesome. Just keep fighting. I know my dad went through like a 4 year period of from having one ride to the next, and he never gave up his dream to become a pro race car driver. So you got a chance, man. Keep fighting, working, and maybe it can happen, maybe not, but leave it out there on the table, man.
Yeah,
Definitely.
absolutely, absolutely, man. Definitely, if you have 10% of what you show on sim in real racing, I think you'll be fine, because you have that the mindset to drive is just as important as the getting behind
Yeah,
the wheel
that was a
and
badass
doing those
sim racing
things.
win there. Yep.
well, thank you. That means a lot to me.
And yeah, great race win, and holding off the best that FSB has, Melty. Slim Jim really fought hard and
Bill Yarborough,
fell by the wayside.
Mark.
Bill Yarborough tried to get up there, fought and burned up his equipment, couldn't catch those guys. Mark looked like he was trying to figure out how to get around the kid. Tried maybe 2, 3 different ways and just couldn't figure it out. And that's a positive sign for someone that's just more of that to come kind of thing, and serves notice definitely to the rest of the field.
Yeah, I hope it isn't my last one. It took me a really long time to get my first one. I really wanted that. I wanted that win really bad.
These races are hard to win, man.
Yeah, I know. It was my first Arrow win, and it was really starting to get to me, because I mean I've been so close so many times. I mean, like
Yeah,
last week at Daytona, I thought I had that thing in the bag, but I mean I didn't, and uh, it just can't give up on it. And it was also eating at me because my dad had one and I didn't. So I had to get one just
that's
to be even with him.
that's a father-son rivalry right
Yeah, and
there.
speaking of dad,
That's racing,
solidly
man. That's
solidly
racing
in the top 10 in
family right
points,
there.
Melty. Uh, he's only 17 points out of the lead, the old man. So yeah, he knows what he's doing out there.
Absolutely. That's why they've got where they've got. Trying to do this thing for real. Go karts. All of us are big. Our fans, our viewers, our members in the league. We all have some connection to racing. Watching our dads taking us to the races, go karts, uh, motorcycles, whatever. I mean, it's that's why we're all here together. So
Yeah,
fantastic
absolutely.
stuff.
And yeah, we'll wrap up this broadcast, Melty.
Yep.
You can see on the screen there with the standings, our next race in the series is going to be, of course, next Friday at Homestead Night. It's a great track, and that should be some
I love that
good,
track.
hard, keep the foot on down on the floor type racing. And I like seeing that type of racing in this series. That breeds the good long green flag runs, Milty.
This would not happen without our and the trophies that are available from Pony Express
That's
and
right.
Pony Express
Yeah,
Broadcasting,
stepping
our
up and
sponsor.
absolutely, and we appreciate all the sponsors throughout the various series. They're all stepping up, putting out the hardware, and hell, that's why we race, Milty. We got to get some of that metal put onto a little trophy stand or something.
Yep. Cool.
All right, so great win by Isaac. Great racing by the field there. Very clean racing, just very few cautions on a extremely difficult track. And now we'll wrap it up tonight from Pikes Peak. Isaac's our winner. Great win, great drive by him. Led a bunch of laps and definitely was the best car out there
Yep.
pretty much all night. So congratulations, Isaac. Look to see you see if you can back it up next week at Homestead. And Milty, as always, pleasure. And
Thank you, sir.
we'll be seeing you again next week for the Winston Cup Series here at FSBRacing.com. Check it out. Go to the website. There's a way to sign up right there, nice and easy, and you can get out onto the track and see if you can uh, put a
Hang
door
with
on
these great
put a
drivers.
door
Yep.
on the kid here and see what you can do. So that's what it's all about, and uh, we'll catch you on the next broadcast. Thanks, guys.
Cool.